Hello and welcome to the Blessed Business Owners Podcast with your hosts, Stacey and Steph. Stacey is a virtual assistant, social media manager, and business coach, and Steph is a copywriter and book editor. We're twin sisters and Christians who run our online business together called Twin Book Media, where we help women entrepreneurs grow their businesses and authors prep their books for publishing. We also provide coaching to women online business owners who want to start and grow their business with support. If you're a Christian woman who is an online business owner or author, we created this show just for you. Here on the Blessed Business Owners Podcast, we're teaching you how to build and grow a Christ-centered and God-led dream life and business you love that leaves you feeling blessed instead of stressed. Let's make your God-given dreams become your reality together. Here we go. Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Blessed Business Owners Podcast with your host, Stacey. Today I'm sharing with you a behind-the-scenes look of what it's really like being a virtual assistant / business owner and what a typical day in the life looks like for me. Hope you enjoy it. Let's get started. I don't know about you, but I'm curious and I always love to chat with other business owners to see what their daily work life looks like. It's nice to hear because I could take inspiration from them and also implement new ideas into my daily routine. Everyone's work life looks a little bit different, so here's a glimpse at my typical day. I love having a business with a flexible schedule because it means I can create my day exactly as I please. So, starting in the morning, I typically wake up around 8 a.m. usually. It just varies on the day, time of year, and how much work I have to do, but I typically wake up around 8 a.m. And I am a morning person. I love my mornings, but I am not an early morning person because I'm also a night owl. I do like to stay up late, which is pretty rare. Usually people are one or the other. Let me know if you're like me, where you like late nights, but also mornings. So, I like to start my morning, wake up around 8 a.m. After snoozing my alarm, of course, right, because we all do at least once, I get up, make my bed right away, because I always make my bed. It makes me feel so productive, and it's just a great start to my day, and it makes me feel like I've already accomplished something. So if you don't make your bed every day, I highly recommend doing it, and it just makes your room look a lot neater. So I get up and make my bed, then I do my hygiene routine, so this is where I do my skincare routine, brush my teeth, all the things. Then I get dressed and ready for the day right away. I am someone who just likes to get ready, like, as soon as I get up during the work week. The weekends are different, but during the work week, I like to just get up and get ready right away, just because it ends up being easier for me in the long run with, like, the rest of my morning and getting started on the workday and everything like that. I figure, like, while I'm already near my room and my clothes and everything like that, it just makes more sense for me to just, like, get up and get ready so that I don't have to think about it later and I'm all ready to go for whatever the day brings. So after I do my skincare and hygiene, I always get dressed. I'll put on my work outfit for the day. Obviously, I work from home. So usually this consists of some kind of like loungewear, just something comfortable that I can like lounge in while working from home. If I'm working out of the house that day, obviously I will look a little bit nicer. But most days I'm just working at home, and I don't like to stay in my pajamas. I like to actually change out of my pajamas and put on a different outfit. Still comfortable, but different, because that signals to my brain that it's time to work and not sleep. So I do like to get dressed right away. Like I said, I'll just put on something comfortable. I have like a million different lounge sets. That's what I love to wear. It's just a whole outfit. I don't have to think about it. So I'll immediately put on a comfy like lounge outfit, and I'll do my hair for the day. Usually that means throwing it up in a bun, if I'm completely honest, because I like to have my hair out of my face while I'm working, especially at home. And I don't typically wear makeup much, honestly, on a day-to-day basis, so I usually skip makeup. So I'll pretty much just put my outfit on, do my hair, and then add some jewelry if I want to, and I'm pretty much ready for the day, and that's it. And like I said, I just like to get ready, like, right when I get up, because it just makes the rest of my day easier, so I don't have to go back upstairs and, worry about getting ready. It's already done, and I could just get on with the rest of my day. So yeah, after I get dressed and get ready for the day, look presentable, and, in case I need to go out somewhere later in the day, I'm all ready to go. Then I go downstairs, say hi to our dog, Jake. He's our pride and joy. He is a almost 15-year-old puggle. We love him to death, so of course I have to say hi to my dog. Then I always make my coffee, which is an essential. I am a coffee fanatic, if you didn't know, and so is Steph. We love our coffee, our whole family does, and we can't live without it. I need it every single day. Not necessarily for the caffeine, because I feel like I've built up such a high tolerance to caffeine at this point since I've been drinking coffee since like high school. So it's not really for the caffeine. I honestly just crave like the taste and the flavor of coffee in the morning. So I always have to have my coffee, and my favorite coffee is from the espresso machine. It's the absolute best. If you don't have an espresso, you have to get one. I highly recommend it. It's a little pricey, but it's so worth it, I promise. Their coffee is like 10 times better than a coffee shop's, in my opinion. I think an espresso coffee is the best. So I make my Nespresso coffee. Sometimes I'll do like a hot latte, sometimes I'll do iced coffee. In like the warmer months, I'll typically do an iced coffee, and then the cooler months, I'll do a hot coffee. So I always make my coffee. Like that is like the first thing I do once I go downstairs and say hi to my dog. And then from here, this is where I start my morning routine with like my healthy habits that I like to incorporate in the morning to kind of kickstart my day before work. I actually did film a morning routine video on our YouTube channel, and our YouTube channel will be linked in the show notes if you want to go check it out. We would love your support over there. But I have a whole morning routine video that I filmed last year, and it hasn't changed, so go check out that video. But I'll walk you through my morning routine really quickly. So in my morning routine, the first thing I like to do is plan my day. I am a huge planner person, if you didn't know. I've been planning since probably like elementary or middle school, honestly, like since I've been school aged. And I can't go a day without it. I'm such a planner person. I have to make a to-do list. I have to write down everything I need to do that day in order to be productive and get things done. And I typically use my Go Getter Girl Company planners, which I absolutely love. It's a small business, and the owner of the company, Rach, is one of my good friends. So I like to use her company's planners typically. And then I also use Google Calendar and Notion, and I also have YouTube videos up on how I plan as well that you could check out if you go to our channel, which is called Stacey and Stuff. It'll be linked in the show notes. But I am such a big planner person, so the first thing I do is plan out my day. So I'll look at my Google Calendar, I'll look at my Notion, and I'll do kind of like a brain dump of what needs to get done, and then I will make a to-do list in my planner and sync it with my calendars, and then kind of like go from there and write down the things that I absolutely have to do that day that are like non-negotiables, and then I'll make a priority list of like top 3 things so I don't get overwhelmed. And that just works really well for me. So I always plan out my day. It's the first thing I do as part of my morning routine. And yeah, it just sets you up for success when you have a running list and kind of like an agenda of what you're going to get done that day. If you don't, you're probably not going to be productive. So I highly recommend trying planning if you're not a planner, or at least just making a to-do list if you have a notebook or anything, or you can use Notion, which I also use for planning. So I highly recommend making a to-do list of some sort, and just so you know what you need to get done that day, and then you check it off as you go, and it's so satisfying, at least to me. So I will plan out my day. Next, I'll do some gratitude journaling. So this is where I will write what I'm grateful for that morning, whatever comes to mind. There's a couple different ways you could do this. I actually have a gratitude journal that's specifically for that, where it has pre-written prompts that you can use, kind of like the 5 minute journal, which is very popular. Mine's a little different, but it's similar to that. If you're familiar with the 5 minute journal, you can use that. But you can also just write in a notebook, a couple things that you're grateful for. And I highly recommend gratitude journaling because it puts you in just a grateful and positive mindset to start your day right. Because if you start off the day with like a negative mindset, you are just not going to have a good day, at least for me. I need to start my day in a positive note to kind of carry me through the rest of the day, which is why it's important to have a morning routine in general. So I'll write down a couple things I'm grateful for that morning. It's usually like 3 things, and fill out the prompts in my gratitude journal. And like I said, it helps you just start the day on a positive note. And it's very easy for us to forget all that we have and that we should be grateful for when we're constantly looking at what we don't have, at least for me. So it's very humbling. So I definitely recommend gratitude journaling, and I do that every morning after I plan out my day. Next, I do my daily devotional, Bible reading, and prayer. I am a Christian. If you did not know, my faith is very, very important to me, my relationship with God. I've been a Christian my entire life. I'm very fortunate that my parents are also Christians, and we grew up in a Christian home. Steph and I, we were raised in church and everything like that, and I have maintained that faith and relationship with the Lord as an adult. So my daily devotional is very, very important to me. So every single morning, I will do a devotional. There's so many that you can get. Right now, I'm actually doing the Read a Bible in a year plan, and it's amazing. I've never done it. I've always wanted to, and I decided this is the year I was going to read the Bible in a year. So I use the Bible app on my iPhone. It's completely free if you want to download it. It's a great app because they have free devotionals and reading plans on there. And you can also actually read the Bible on there, and it has like every version of the Bible. So it's amazing. Definitely recommend that app. So that's where I'm doing my reading the Bible in a year plan from the Bible app. So every morning, it's split into different days. So I'll do the readings for that specific day in my Bible, and I will usually highlight anything that sticks out to me, anything that God is like saying if He's speaking, anything like that, anything important, I will highlight as I'm reading in my Bible. I use the King James Version, that's what I grew up with. And yeah, I love it. So I'll do my devotional, my daily Bible reading, and then I always end in prayer. I always pray, thank the Lord for giving me another amazing day, show Him I'm grateful to be alive another day. That's something to take for granted, and as well as like my health and everything. So I always thank the Lord for my health, for my family's health, and I pray that we have a productive and successful day, and everybody is safe. So kind of like something like that. Always do a prayer, so important in strengthening my relationship with the Lord is talking to Him. So always prioritize my daily devotional Bible reading and prayer. Then after I do this, I will typically read a little bit. So Steph and I are huge readers, if you didn't know. We've always been big readers. So I like to read in the morning some kind of learning book, usually nonfiction. So I'll typically read some kind of like personal development, self-help, or business-related book in the morning. I'll typically read about like a chapter. And yeah, just get a little bit of learning in. You know, I'm always looking to learn how to be a better person, how to be a better business owner, coach, everything. So I find that reading a chapter of a book in the morning has been super helpful for me. It gives me a little nugget of wisdom that I can kind of carry with me throughout the day without being like too overwhelming. So I'll typically read about like a chapter. I'm not currently reading a book. I actually just finished one. I highly recommend it. It's one of Joel Osteen's books. Huge fan of Joel Osteen. Amazing, amazing Christian man, pastor. So yeah, Steph and I were just reading one of his books together. So, so good. Highly, highly recommend it. It's all about bettering yourself as a Christian. And he has a lot of strategies in there for business owners. So definitely recommend. If you follow my Goodreads account, you can friend me over there if you have a Goodreads, and we can connect and you can see all the books I've read. But so yeah, I definitely recommend Joel Osteen's books. He's amazing. I always learn so much from him, and I love his positive mindset. Um, and yeah, so that is the last step in my morning routine. Um, is getting a little bit of reading in, and then after I do this, I do like to do a little workout just to get my blood pumping, my body moving early in the day, kind of wakes me up a little bit. So I am not a gym girl by any means. I have never in my life ever had a gym membership, and I honestly don't think I ever will. It's just not for me. I just don't see myself going to work out with other people around me. Personally, I'm very introverted, so, and I'm also a curvy girl. I've been curvy my whole life, so I'm too self-conscious to go work out with other people. So I always work out at home, and I honestly just do simple YouTube workouts for free. If you don't use YouTube for working out, you are missing out. Highly recommend it because, like I said, YouTube is literally free as long as you have Wi-Fi. And there's so many amazing workouts on there. I'm subscribed to so many people, so many different like fitness coaches and everything, and they all have free workouts on their channel and they upload all the time. So I'll just do like a 10 to 30 minute YouTube workout, depending on what I'm feeling that day. Sometimes I'll do like cardio, so I'll do like these indoor, like low intensity walking workouts, and then some days I'll do like abs, arms, like legs, like more strength training. So it just kind of depends on the day, but I love to do a little workout in the morning just to kind of get me going and wake me up a little bit. And everyone has a time of day they like to work out. For me, it's personally in the morning. I have to do it in the morning or else I will not do it the rest of the day. I found that working out in the morning just works best for me. But of course, do what's best for you. Everyone's different. Some people like to work out in the afternoon. Some people in the evening. I like to do morning because then it's just done. I can check it off and I don't have to worry about it for the rest of the day. If I wait till nighttime to work out, I won't do it because I just get so lazy and tired after work. So if you're like me, I highly recommend making time in the morning to work out. You'll be so happy you did. So that is everything I do in the morning. Now around this time, after all this is done in my morning routine, it's about like 9 a.m. or so. This is where I start my work day. So I am most productive in the morning. personally, like I said, I'm a morning person. So I try to get most of my work done in the early hours in the morning. I always start by checking my calendar to see what's going on that day, updating that in my Notion dashboard to align with my planner, like I said. So always see what's going on that day first before I do anything else. Then I check my email inbox and clear that out as much as I can. I like to do that first thing in the morning so I don't have too many emails piling up. And it's just an easy thing to do. So I try to clear that out as much as I can right away. And then after that, I like to check in with my clients because I am a virtual assistant. I offer services, so I do have clients. So I like to check in with my clients early in the morning and make sure they didn't contact me overnight and, you know, like need me for something urgent. I always check to make sure they haven't reached out to me. If they did, I will get back to them as soon as possible. And if not, then I'm all clear. But I always make sure to check in with my clients in the morning. Then after that's done, I'll usually post on Instagram stories and threads. So that is where we are posting right now our content for our business. So make sure to go follow us on Instagram and threads. The links are in the show notes. We would love your support. We've been posting on stories Monday through Friday and threads a couple of days a week, and we've been really enjoying those platforms. So I'll do some marketing on those platforms, post an Instagram story, post a thread. And then after that, after I do a little bit of marketing, I dive into the client work I need to get done for the day. My client work does vary depending on the day and my workload. With my current clients, every day is a little bit different. And I break my week up for my work, so I can talk about that in another episode. But every day is a little bit different with my workload for my clients. So I'll get started on that, do any work I need to do. I'll try to get as much done as I can in the morning because, like I said, that's when I'm most productive and get that client work done. For one of my clients, I manage and check their inbox and their calendar every day, so I try to do that pretty early on in the day to make sure there's no like urgent emails or anything. So I'll do that for one of my clients, and the rest of my client work is more flexible. So I will work on that like as I have time throughout the day, but I always try to do the like administrative tasks for my clients early in the day. But like I said, every day varies with my client work. It just depends on the day what needs to be done. So I typically will do client work until noon, like 12 p.m. When it's lunchtime, and then that's when I'll take my lunch break. So this is when I will get something to eat. So I'll have lunch and then go for a walk usually. For lunch, we'll usually eat just like leftovers or like something we've prepped in advance. I'm trying to get better at meal prepping. It doesn't always happen. Being a business owner is nice because if you don't meal prep, you can like easily make something. Like, when you make your own schedule, you have time. So I'll usually just eat something quick. And then Steph and I always try to get outside and get some movement in during our lunch break. Since, we work from home, we're kind of in the house a lot working. We try to break up the day, and in the middle of the day after we eat lunch, we like to head outside and go for a walk. Highly recommend doing this. It kind of like wakes you up. It gets you away from your computer and your desk because I will not eat at my desk. And you get some fresh air, some sunshine, some vitamin D. It's really good to and like I said, get your body moving again after sitting all morning. And we also take our dog for a walk, so it works out really well. So we'll eat and then go outside for a little walk. And then I also use my lunch break as time to like clean and do any chores that are needed that day. Like if we're doing laundry, if we need to clean the kitchen, anything like that. It's also nice to work from home because you can kind of like do your chores during the day. So I'll also use that lunch break to like do any chores that are needed or anything like that. After my break, it's usually about 1 o'clock, and this is when I'll get back to work. So if I have more client work to do, I'll do that. Otherwise, I'm working on our other business related tasks like networking, marketing, creating content, or doing other work for like our business, the podcast, or the YouTube channel. It just kind of depends on the day. Like I said, what needs to be done. And I'll kind of see like what I got done that morning and go from there. And then I'll work from about like 1 to 5. That is like kind of the rest of my work day. Around 5 p.m. is when I aim to stop working most of the days. Obviously this is a little different every day, but I don't overwork myself, even though I could keep working later. As a business owner, there's always more to be done, so I could keep working like way past 5, but I don't. I don't let myself do that because if I work all night, I know it'll lead to burnout. So I try to work a typical 9 to 5 schedule and stop working at 5 And I highly recommend doing this if you're also a business owner to set a work schedule for yourself and stick to it. Because like I said, it will lead to burnout if you are working like all day and all night. It's not healthy. We all need a break. We can't be working for 24/7. So I always try to work like 9 to 5 hours and then stop when I'm satisfied with my work, which is typically around 5. And then anything I didn't do, when I check my to-do list, I'll move over to the next day. And yeah, that is kind of like my how I can have a work to life balance and I can enjoy like my weeknights after work. And then so after I check in with my clients, I wrap up the workday, everything like that. Usually eat dinner with the family, so we'll make dinner, and then eat together. This is usually between like 5 and 6. My family likes to eat early. We always have. We've always eaten around like 5:30. And yeah, so we'll make dinner, eat, and then we'll just kind of like clean up the kitchen. Then after we clean up from dinner and everything like that, we'll just spend the rest of the evening just relaxing, doing my cozy hobbies because, I have the rest of the night to myself since I finished the workday. So I'll usually catch up on new YouTube videos from my favorite creators on YouTube who posted that day. I'll journal, color, read, or watch a movie and TV show. It kind of just depends on like what I'm in the mood for, but I highly recommend having some cozy hobbies to do for yourself after work. It'll help you recharge and unwind from your day, and it's kind of like a reward to yourself for having a successful work day. So highly recommend having some hobbies, some things that you do after work just for yourself. And Steph and I are the biggest Friends fans, so we always watch Friends every single night. We have to watch it before bed. It's just like our therapy and our comfort show. So we always watch Friends. Let me know if you're a Friends fan as well. And then after unwinding, from about like 6 to maybe like 10 or 11, I'll put my pajamas on, do my hygiene routine for the night, and then I usually try to get into bed around 11 o'clock. Like I said, that might seem late to some of you, that might seem early to some of you, but I do love my mornings, but I'm also a night owl, which is kind of strange because I do love my nights. I just love how peaceful nighttime is, how it's quiet, and like a lot of people are asleep. So, yeah, I'll typically stay up till about like 11, and then I will try to go to sleep from there. So that is it. That's what a typical workday looks like for me as a virtual assistant and business owner. I'm so grateful that I get to make my own schedules, my own boss, and I get to schedule my days to my liking. It's just like the best feeling, and I never take it for granted, and I thank God every day to have this blessed life that I absolutely love. And that is it for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. I hope it was inspiring to you and gave you some ideas that you can implement into your workday. Before you leave, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel with the link in the show notes. We post lots of CEO diaries, which are business blogs and also educational and lifestyle videos every single week. So make sure to go check it out and subscribe. I'll also link our CEO Diaries playlist in the show notes so you can go watch our work vlogs directly there and see on video what our work life looks like behind the scenes. So make sure to go check out the CEO Diaries playlist with all of our vlogs. We're really trying to grow our YouTube channel this year and we would love your support. So make sure to check out the links in the show notes and go subscribe and watch our videos. We would really appreciate it. Thank you so much again, everybody, for being here. Have a great day, and I will see you next time. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Blessed Business Owners Podcast. We hope it was helpful and you enjoyed it. If this resonated with you today, we would love for you to rate, review, and share this with someone else who needs it. Looking to hire a virtual assistant or editor for your business? Send us an email, which is in the show notes below, at hello@twinbookmedia.com. Looking to work with a coach to grow your business? Book a paid 1-hour one-on-one coaching call with Stacey. The link is in the show notes below. Authors, not sure where to start with prepping your books for publishing and looking for support? Grab our free Editing Steps ebook in the show notes below. Until next time, everyone, work hard, be good to your clients and readers, and give all the glory to God. When you do, His blessings will come your way. We appreciate you all, and we'll see you in the next episode.